Hello my dears, this is Sarah from sheholdsdearly.com, and today I'm going to show you how to turn a regular flower pot into one that has a concrete finish. So I've been digging through all the areas where I keep my gardening supplies and finding whatever pots I have on hand. I found some that are old to me, and I forgot I had them. I don't really like the finish. I'm not really interested in the terracotta right now. So I'm going to just do all of these in a faux concrete finish. Let me show you how I'm going to do it. See, there's some cute ones that like the kids made when they were little. I don't know, I just kept them. I forgot I even had them. And there's nothing wrong with the pots. They just don't really speak to me design-wise. So first thing I need to do is get all these cobwebs and leaves and dirt off of them. So I'm going to brush them off. And then we're going to start with our first product, which is plaster of Paris, to create some texture. These were party favors at my daughter's first birthday party. We did Peter Rabbit birthday party, and she's now 17, almost 18. So that just comes right off. I remember cutting that out. And I'm just taking my little whisk broom here, and we're gonna dust off all the dust and cobwebs. I'm really excited about how many different sizes I have here. I think that it's gonna make a real eclectic finished collection when I'm done. And so I'm cleaning these off, but they're not perfect, and that's okay, because I just want the extra gross stuff off. I can leave a little bit of dried dirt because it's gonna help add that texture I'm going for with the cement look. Actually, this is one that I made a few years ago. These were brand new at IKEA, and I did this aged green finished look. I'm gonna go ahead and change this one as well. But I do have a blog post on if you like this look. I love this idea because I feel like it takes a bunch of mismatched pieces and makes them all look coordinated, and you get to use up some old pieces that maybe you were thinking didn't have a good use anymore. All right, so I got all of these cleaned up, and I'm just gonna put my paint apron on. I don't wear paint clothes, probably foolish of me, but I do have a white sweater on, so I'm gonna try it a little bit. And I don't wanna get comments about my white sweater, painting in my white sweater. So the number one product that you gotta use is plaster of Paris. Hopefully you have some of this on hand. Then we're gonna do 2 different layers of paint. I just pulled up some gray paint that I had on hand. You probably have some gray paint laying around too. So the first step is the most time consuming as far as the dry times. So you're hearing like there's several dry times in there. That is correct. The first one, we're actually gonna mix up our plaster of Paris, and we're going to apply just some texture to the outside of all of these pots to make it look a little bit more like concrete. So it could be messy. This is something that's great to do with kids, right? Because it doesn't matter how perfect they are. We just need different lumps and textures on the outsides of these pots to make it look more aged and less manufactured. So you're gonna add a scoop in. I'm not actually measuring this. I'm just going to make it the consistency of pancake batter. Okay, and then I'm gonna add some cold water. That might even be too watery though for what I'm going for, but let's just try it out. If you need a quick, easy drop cloth, get a shower curtain liner from the Dollar Tree, or I really like their like plastic party tablecloths are good too. So I'm gonna set this out. I'm gonna get these things kind of textured up and let them dry. You could use a putty knife. I just have this little plastic paint scraper. For the inside, I just take my fingers and just dab in some texture. Again, does not need to be perfect. Just get some interest on there. Okay, so I've got everything all plastered up. I started kind of using my hands at the end, and this is what I have left. I got a good amount. One thing I wanted to mention though is that your hands do start to burn. I think that there's some type of lye or something in this, so as it dries, it's gonna start to affect your skin, so be careful of that. All right, step 2, we are going to add a gray paint. I just grabbed whatever I had from my paint collection. This is a free sample I got from Faux Art Home Decor, and it's a chalk paint. It's the color Dovetail. I think it's gonna look a lot like cement or concrete, so this is what we're gonna use. I watered it way down. And so at first I was nervous that I wouldn't be able to get all the pots covered in this, but once I added water and I got it to that milky consistency, I think it's gonna be just fine. All right, the last step is going to be a sort of a darker color gray, just to give some more texture. And I have a little sample from a maker studio. It's the Rescue Restore paint. I'll link it for you in the description below. And it is a chalk paint. It is called Southern Gentleman. So I did thin it again just a little bit, but what you want to do is only use enough paint. It's almost like the dry brush paint technique, if you're familiar with that. You only want to use enough to just kind of catch the top pieces of the texture from that plaster Paris. So you can see as I'm doing it here, I'm not completely covering it, just putting a little top coat on, okay? As far as dry times, which I didn't mention before, ideally I would wait at least an hour between each one of these steps. I'm rushing it a little bit, and that's okay too. I mean, it's such a messy artistic project anyway that stuff blending together is okay. But if I had more time, I truly would wait an hour between each of these steps. All right, so I just inherited this vintage china cabinet and didn't have a good place for it. Putting it on the porch for now. I might paint it. It has the wavy glass in it, so I know it's super old. I'm not sure the wood tone is what I want up here, but you know how that goes. Time will tell what I end up doing with this. But for now, I filled it with some of my favorite gardening pieces and all of my new concrete pots. If you've been interested in creating that finish for pots or baskets or any other kind of potting container, now you know how to do it. Take me on Instagram if you do, because I love to see your guys' projects as well. And before you head out, go ahead and grab my building plans for my French tutors. They are a favorite on Pinterest, and people take me all the time on Instagram with those. If you are into making beautiful, elegant pieces for your yard or garden. So thanks so much for stopping by, and if you're new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I do post regularly and I share my DIY design advice and our vintage farm life. Alright, take care, and I will talk to you soon.